Good evening. Welcome back to Roslyn Court. My name is Maureen Butler, and this evening we have Sally Ironmonger and Brian Carter. Yay! Sadly, we were supposed to have AJ Shrivastov, but he's poorly. So we wish him well. We hope he's getting better. Maybe he's watching, I don't know. That would be nice if he was. And we'll have him back as soon as we can. But at the moment, he's a bit poorly. Okay. We've got the usual raffle, and we've got the usual evening, really. Second half, you won't see the second half. We've got a Q&A. So try and think of a question. If you're at home and you can think of a question, put it on the chat thing, and I'll ask them. You won't hear the answer, but hey, yeah, it'll be. We will, yeah. And you'll go in the raffle. You'll go in the raffle. Okay, so I've been watching the news this week, and there's been a lot of people going home to houses that don't seem to exist anymore. So I thought I would sing this song. The thing about this song is that it really needs you to join in. Otherwise, it sounds a bit rubbish. So if you could join in, that would be it would be great. And harmonies will get double points. The wind will lift our wings. The wind will lift our wings. The wind will lift our wings, and we will fly away. We will fly away. We will fly away. We will fly away when the wind lifts our wings. The fire will burn down. The fire will burn down. The fire will burn down, and the ashes blow away. The ashes blow away. The ashes blow away. The ashes blow away when the fire burns down. The oceans will overflow. The oceans will overflow. The oceans will overflow, and we will wash away. We will wash away. We will wash away. We will wash away when the oceans overflow. I want to live in peace. I want to live in peace. I want to live in peace, but I was born in war. I was born in war. I was born in war. I was born in war, but I want to live in peace. I am coming home. I am coming home. I am coming home. I am a refugee. I am a refugee. I am a refugee. I am a refugee, and I am coming home. The wind will lift our wings. The wind will lift our wings. The wind will lift our wings, and we will fly thank you for joining in. I'd like to introduce onto the stage, please, the wonderful Sally Ironmonger and Brian Carter. Hooray!
Hello, Roslyn Court. We're here. It's lovely to be here. Yes, we had a little bit of it was a bit tricky, sort of working out our set. We had to try and make sure that we didn't do the same set that we did the last time we were here. Wasn't that long ago.
We couldn't manage it, so.
I know. Well, we've made some compromises. Our compromises, not for you. I'm going to start off with the ukulele. Hope that's okay.
Well, we could have changed that, couldn't we?
I'd like to put this to John. Yeah, thank you. Yes. Is that all right?
Lovely. Yeah.
Sounds in tune, doesn't it?
Do they ever?
We're going to start off with a song. We tend to start with this song because it's sort of nice and lively and it warms us up and hopefully you up as well. It's a song that it's called It's Just a Song, and it's got a chorus, which is a very easy chorus apart from the fact that it changes very slightly every verse. But hey, you'll get it. I'll have to start it on my own. It seems my creativity has hit an all-time low. No words are flowing from my pen. I've scored a fat 0. And surely in the scheme of things, if that's the only thing that's wrong, you should remember it's just a song. It's just a song I can't write at the moment. It's just a song. It's just a song. I could be hungry in a war zone or be homeless. It's just a song. It's just a song. To keep yourself connected is a top priority, and it can really make me scream and shout if I can't get 4G. But imagine if you've lost your friends and if you're far away from home, then remember it's just a phone. It's just a phone I can't use at the moment. It's just a phone. It's just a phone. I could be hungry in a war zone or be homeless. It's just a phone. It's just a phone.
You got the idea, haven't you?
You can't believe the weather has spoiled the plans we've made. The storm clouds rolling in are gonna rain on your parade. But imagine if the well was dry, you wouldn't then complain. So remember, it's just the rain. It's just the rain, I'm getting wet at the moment. It's just the rain. It's just the rain. I could be hungry in a war zone or be homeless. It's just the rain. It's just the rain. So if these are your problems, then I've nothing more to say. It's just a song, it's just a phone, it's just a rainy day. And surely in the scheme of things, if that's the only thing that's wrong, you should remember it's just a song. It's just a song I can't write at the moment. It's just a song. It's just a song. I could be hungry in a war zone or be homeless. It's just a song. It's just a song with me. It's just a song I can't write at the moment. It's just a song. It's just a song. I could be hungry in a war zone or be homeless. It's just a song. It's just a song.
Thank you.
It's just a song. Ooh. Oh, was that a ukulele solo? Oh my God! I'm glad I didn't know.
I'm never going to live that down.
He's never going to listen to it. He's never going to listen. Should we do something else on the ukulele then? With the guitar?
Okay.
I only do 2 songs on the ukulele. Well, no, actually, I do other ones, but Brian never wants to do them. Anyway.
That must make you feel special, actually.
This song is a song that we wrote some years ago. It's actually the title of one of our albums. It's called The Company I Keep. And it's a song about being in good company and liking the people that are around you. And we wrote this song after we had spent an evening watching a Saturday night indoors, watching the telly. And the thing about, as you obviously know, the thing about watching the telly on a Saturday night is that there's nothing on. And so we end up sort of scrolling through the channels, and you get up to the high channels where everything is
Not that high, though.
everything has got a +1 or a +4 or something on it. And we spent the evening watching. It seemed sort of wall to wall 30-year-old police and detective stories where everybody there's all people, everybody gets murdered everywhere, and you just think that. It's not like that where I live. I come from Chatham, So I sort of thought that if I know this is a bit sort of left field, but if an alien came down and their view of the world was what they saw on the television on a Saturday night on the high channels, they think that the world was a really dangerous place, and it's not. That's got nothing to do with the song, but that's just sort of giving you a little bit into the sort of the songwriting process. Company I keep.
All right, John.
Nice to hear you, Brian. There were 27 murders on my TV set last night. It could make you scared to go outside, and that just can't be right. What they call reality seems quite unreal to me. To jump through hoops for quick celebrity. The newsman and the weatherman give you the party line. Might be their idea of truth, it sure isn't mine. I depend upon my friends, with them I don't have to pretend. That is why I still live on my street. Oh, I'm happy with the company I keep. I'm happy with the company I keep. You won't find aristocracy in my family tree. Just a long line of peasants has ended up with me. That just means that some think we're the bottom of the pile, but those I call my kin are better by a mile. There are railway men and dredger men and those who work the land, dressmakers and boiler makers working with their hands. I depend upon my friends, with them I don't have to pretend. That is why I still live on my street. Oh, I'm happy with the company I keep. Oh, I'm happy with the company I keep. You're welcome on my street to meet the company I keep. I don't think you can meet the kind of company I keep. You're welcome on my street to meet the company I keep. I don't think you can meet the kind of company I keep. There are those who come around when they want something for themselves, but they can't be found when you are down. You're left all by yourself. And there are those who moved away and then the months turn into years. But if I call them, they'll be there to dry my tears. Through scheming mothers and cheating lovers, they help to make you smile. Through lose and win, through thick and thin, they make it all worthwhile. Thank you very much. That's the ukulele. I should think that is it. Bye-bye. That's it for today. So as I said, I come from Chatham, which, you know, quite often you get a wave of sympathy. When you play places, you get a sort of wave of sympathy, but it doesn't sort of quite work in Margate and Cliftonville, does it? sort of it's twinned. Could be twinned with Chatham, really. Yes, I like to think of myself as Chatham's cultural ambassador.
That's a big job, isn't it?
I know. I'm waiting for it to become fashionable. So we're going to sing. We're just going to do one Chatham song, are we?
Yeah.
We'll do a. This is a song about a Chatham prostitute, and that's the culture, yes. And they called her Flying Isaac. We don't really know why they called her Flying Isaac. Brian has a theory, which we don't.
Anyone got anything to share on that subject?
Won't go into it. But we know quite a lot about her because she was always getting arrested and getting her name in the paper for drunkenness and riotous behaviour and thieving off of her the people that she met.
Clients.
Her clients, I suppose they were. Well, yeah. We thought, well, yeah, we read a bit about it and she existed, and we just thought she deserved a song. So this is it. The Ballad of Flying Isaac. Got some chorusy joiny in bits if you want them. Have you heard of Flying Isaac, the Queen of New Brompton? She was the sailor's joy. She asked 'em for a shilling, and she would be willing with a captain or a cabin boy. She'd take them to the churchyard, she'd lie down on a tombstone. The Chatham girls' romance. When she satisfied their cravings, she would have away their savings without a second glance. Oh, up and down the brook she goes. Hello, sailor, what you know? Flying Isaac, bold as brass. Oh, up and down the brook she goes. Hello, sailor, what you know? You want to buy a lady a glass. That's how they talk in Chatham. The landlord of the Crown said he didn't want her custom. She had no means to pay. She said she'd pay in kind, but he kicked her behind and told her, just go on your way. Oh, but she was unbowed as she turned to the crowd like a ship that was in full sail. Oh, she was hard to handle, she'd become a bloody scandal, and they put her in the jail.
Give it a go.
Oh, up and down the brook she goes. Hello, sailor, what you know? Flying Isaac, bold as brass. Oh, up and down the brook she goes. Hello, sailor, what you know? You want to buy a lady a glass. Brian now does his guitar solo, which apparently is quite difficult. And I'm not meant to distract him when he's doing it.
Doesn't stop normally, does it?
I found in the 25 years of living with Brian that when he is playing the guitar, I could say anything that I like, and it just sort of goes completely over his head. He's not listening. Sailor, what you know? Flying Isaac, bold as brass. Oh, up and down the brook she goes. Hello, sailor, what you know? You want to buy a lady a glass. When Flying Isaac came before the judge in all her glory to pay for her disgrace, the judge sat way up high, and she looked him in the eye. And she said, don't I know your face? And the courtroom was amused at the sight of the accused watching old Judge Brown's shame. And she got off with a warning and was on the street next morning playing the same old game.
Go on then.
Oh, up and down the brook she goes. Hello, sailor, what you know? Flying Isaac Boulder's grass. Oh, up and down the brook she goes. Hello, sailor, what you know? You wanna buy a lady a glass. All you gotta do is ask. The Ballad of Flying Isaac. Oh. This is a song that we wrote about 10 years ago, I think. And we wrote it when I read something in the paper that said that there had been some sort of survey. I think it was 2013 or 2014, I think it was, and it said that that year there had been a record number of food banks that had opened in the UK in 2013. So obviously things have been improving quite a lot since then. But the thing that struck me was that it happened to coincide with it being a record year for the number of Ferraris that have been sold as well. So there's not much change there either. So this is a song that came out of those two little facts, just called Food Bags and Ferraris. Can you remember the time we crossed the poverty line and the sun shone on those in the shade? Our grandfathers fought and the vision they sought was a helping hand from cradle to grave. But now that's all over and long been forgot, and the prophets all go to the men at the top. And the promises of 45 are now broken dreams and lies. Food banks and Ferraris on the rise. Food banks and Ferraris on the rise. Food banks and Ferraris on the rise. Well, they say things are tough and there isn't enough to pay the poor, the sick, the old and so on. But the profits still flow and the bonuses grow, and we all know where the money has gone. Those robber barons in their fortified towers are eating the fruits of what could have been ours, and the promises of 45 are now broken dreams and lies. Food banks and Ferraris on the rise. Food banks and Ferraris on the rise. Food banks and Ferraris on the rise. The gap between your place and mine gets wider every day. You pay the press, you pay for votes to make sure it stays that way. Because the promises of 45 are now broken dreams and lies. Food banks and Ferraris on Eubanks and Ferraris. Thank you very much. It was only after we recorded that song that I realised quite how bad my speech impediment is. Because on the recording, nearly all the way through it, I'm singing Ferraris. So now, Eubanks and Ferraris. And
no one told her.
No one did tell me. I try to concentrate now. So. This is a little song about marriage, or any other sort of domestic arrangements that you might have, obviously, which are many and varied, I know. And it's quite difficult, I believe, in my view, well, maybe it's just me, to live in domestic harmony. And this is a song about our marriage, I suppose. It's a song called Murder on My Mind. Well, I swore till death do part when I made my vows. He was so exciting at the start, but he's just irritating now. First our love was wild and mad, but then it all began to sag. Now most days I seem to find I've got murder on my mind. Well, I could push him down the stairs, or catch him when he's unawares, which is easy. Put arsenic in his beer, or take him on a very long walk off a short pier, drown him in the bath, let him meet a psychopath. Would it be a crime of passion if I hired an assassin? I've got murder on my mind. You may think I'm too extreme. I could just walk away. I could just pack my bags and leave and give myself a holiday. But I hate to contemplate that he might enjoy the break.
What do you reckon?
So I'll just stay and face my fate with murder on my mind. Well, I could push him down the stairs, or catch him when he's unawares, put arsenic in his beer, or take him on a very long walk off a short pier, drown him in the bath, let him meet a psychopath. Would it be a crime of passion if I hired an assassin? I've got murder on my mind. Electrify his favourite chair and watch him sizzling sitting there. Serve him toxic marmalade, or turn the remote control into a hand grenade. Drown him in the tub, put landmines on the road down to the pub. Or do you think I ought to just forget this slaughter? I've got murder on my mind. Do you think I ought to just forget this slaughter? I've got murder. I've got murder. I've got murder on my mind. Not so far today.
I'm just going to interrupt for 2 minutes here because I was supposed to mention it's Independent Venue Week at the beginning of the event, because they put a lot of money into it, and I was supposed to say that. So it's Independent Venue Week. Yay! Yeah. And also to say to the people at home, thank you to the people who've donated so far. It's really wonderful that you've done that. But anybody else, if you're thinking about it, please, get on with it. And if anybody isn't in the room, if anybody isn't in the room and they can't buy your CDs, where can they get them?
They could download them from the usual places, from places like Bandcamp is good because that's better for artists. I know that. But all usual place, I think you can get them on Amazon even.
Great.
Or they could go onto our website, which is sallyironmonger.co.uk, and they could email me from there, and I would send them a CD for
That's
the
kind,
required
isn't it?
amount of money and postage.
Brilliant. That's great.
Thank you.
Just for a suggestion for a donation, every day Sally goes out for a walk and she takes pictures of the things that she sees when she goes for a walk. So if you could possibly, I think at the end of your walk, you probably have a cup of tea and a bun, don't you?
Yes.
So So I think if whatever you spend on a cup of tea and a bun, if you could send the equivalent to this concert, that would be brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, back to Sally and Brian.
Thank you, Marek. Thank you very much. Thank you. And this next song is a relatively newish song of ours, and it's a song that we wrote. It was inspired by a bit of a camping trip with some friends. Now, I don't know if there's many people here who camp, and I don't know if if it's just our rule or everybody has the rule that, particularly when camping, if you're a couple, particularly if you're a married couple, you shouldn't try to do things together like put up a tent or an awning or something like that, because it's disastrous. So we now have a rule, don't we? We have a very simple air beam awning that now the rule is Sally does it. And if Sally needs assistance, she will ask Brian. And usually Brian sits down. Oh no, he doesn't sit down and have a cup of tea. Brian normally wanders off and is talking to somebody. Brian does it very well. He's very good at talking to people. And I'm much better at putting up awnings, I think, than talking to people.
Absolutely.
Anyway, on this particular day, we were camping with some friends. We'd arrived at the said place first, and we got ourselves all sorted out. We hadn't fallen out too much over getting the awning up, and we were sitting there with a camping table and chairs. I think we might have had a gin and tonic on the go, and our friends arrive with their motorhome, and then we sat there, and we, I think we might have had a couple of gins, but we were trying not to laugh at them putting up their awning together, and it was it got really fraught, didn't it? It was, it was quite tense. Yeah. And we were trying to diffuse the situation.
And they had mallets in their hand.
I know. They did have a mallet, and I think, and we're trying to diffuse the situation, but I think we might have made it worse. But actually, what we kept, it ended up, I think we did sort of make them laugh in the end, because we kept just saying, or Brian kept saying, leave it, mate, leave it. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Leave it. Leave it. So anyway, this song has got nothing to do with camping or anything, but just that phrase sort of stuck with us. So this is a song that came out. They're quite happy that they inspired a song. And they might have adopted our technique for just leave one of them walking away and letting the other one do it, unless asked. Some people always say you should just walk away. Leave it, love, it ain't worth it. Some men go on and on, mansplaining how things are done. Leave it, love, it ain't worth it. You'd like to give a left hook, but you just give him a look. Leave it, love, it ain't worth it. Don't get into a fight, even though you are right. Leave it, love, it ain't worth it. Show that you are not a fool. Use your brain, don't lose your cool. Just stick to the golden rule. Never pick a fight you can't win. We all have a choice between a gun and a voice. Leave it, love, it ain't worth it. But it's hard to outrun a madman with a gun. Leave it, love, it ain't worth it. Another megalomaniac dressed in the Union Jack. Leave it, love, it ain't worth it. A battle's easy to start, even though it ain't smart. Leave it, love, it ain't worth it. If you're feeling disrespected, oh, ask me, why do I drink? I say, why do you think? Leave it, love, it ain't worth it. It's hard to reach higher ground with so many idiots around. Leave it, love, it ain't worth it. The prize for winning the race, a custard pie in your face. Leave it, love, it ain't worth it. It'll mess with your head, just take a breather instead. Leave it, love, it ain't worth it. It really doesn't make you weaker if you turn the other cheek. Just go for this approved technique. Never pick a fight you can't win. Some people always say you should just walk away. Leave it, love, it ain't worth it. Leave it, love, it ain't worth it. Leave it, love, it ain't worth it. For all the campers. Thank you. But maybe not now. What do you want to do now? Do you want to do that one?
Yes.
That one that's on the list?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that I've read it.
And this is another song that's sort of inspired by where we live, in Rochester we live now. And it's sort of inspired by Brian's dad, I suppose. Brian's dad used to work at the Shorts factory on the Esplanade in Rochester, where they made, they used to call it the Seaplane Works locally, where they made the flying boats and the Sunderland bombers. And Brian always said that his dad was quite a sort of taciturn sort of man. He would never, didn't really say very much. But you could always get a conversation out of him if you talked to him about metalwork. He was very sort of talented metal worker and made things. And so there's a little bit of a homage to men like that who went to work in blue overalls in light engineering works that don't exist anymore. So that's it. Is that right, Brian? Empires from Singapore to Sunderland, all built along this riverside. They clock off the men who make the flying boats, changing shift with every tide. His kisses smell of cutting oil, his dirty hands he can't hide. His days are cast in metalwork, his living forged by metalwork. He only talks of metalwork, he knows no other way. Hard edges, blunt and galvanised, I couldn't bend him, wouldn't even try. He's not a man to change a dirty nappy or to sing our child a lullaby. But he can fix a broken toy. He'd stay up all night, he wouldn't bat an eye. He shows his love with metalwork. He likes to fix the metalwork. His heart is caged by metalwork. He knows no other way. There's no time for poetry or silliness, but I know that that is not his fault. There's not much gilding of the lily. Our lives are mainly nuts and bolts. The grinding life of metalwork, riveted with metalwork, hammered home by metalwork. He knows no other way. One day, the flying bomb came back for him. filling up the clear blue sky above. My metal man, as hard as nails and strong as steel, was suddenly reduced to flesh and blood. But all that's left is broken hearts, crushed by the metal work he loved. Rust in broken metalwork, corroded, wasted metalwork. He lived and died by metalwork. He knows no other way. He knows no other way. Thank you. It's not even on the list, Brian. He's going off-piste. Think about this. It's never gonna happen. I wouldn't pass the test. I'm not an actress or a writer or an honourable baroness yet. But imagine if they broke the mould and dared to take a risk, and they let me pour my heart out on desert island discs. I'd tell them how we danced in my mum's front room to my daddy's 45s, playing aeroplanes till the room spun round and the stars were in our eyes. Oh, love me do my blue suede shoes and Fireball XL5. And Buddy Holly sang, it doesn't matter anymore. We keep it true and simple. I'd tell tales out of school. Be clear that I might shed a tear, but that is not against the rules. And the songs will tell my story, my own unique remix. 'Cause that is how you pour your heart out on desert island discs. I'd tell them how we met in a dead-end bar, both so drunk we could not stand, clinging to me like a drowning man who had caught a glimpse of land. Oh, young hearts, run free, baby, we were born to run. Paradise by the dashboard light, and we sang, I'm not in love. I'm not in love. And now my songs are over, my backstreet symphony. Well, my book would be The Old Man and the Sea, and you would be my luxury. Oh, I know you can't take people, but I swear I would insist if they let me pour my heart out on desert island discs. I'd tell them that I'd rather stay right here, face to face with my mistakes. Oh, the ups, the downs, and the rough, the smooth, I'm not looking to escape. Oh, here comes the sun, just the way you are. I'm stuck in the middle with you. I'm walking on sunshine, perfect day, and we sang, what a wonderful world. What a wonderful world. Oh, yes, I know you can't take people, but I swear I would insist if they let me pour my heart out on desert island discs. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We'll do a little love song if that's okay. And because Brian likes playing things like that. Well, usually he does. Do that again. It's over, we've missed the bus. Nice idea, but not for us. We didn't click, let's call it quits and say goodbye. Don't hold my hand and don't demand a reason why. No loving looks, no fond regards. Tonight was always on the cards. I like big muscles, you were thin and lanky. I like nice manners, you were far too cranky. You blew your nose and then looked in your hanky. Things would never have worked. Your taste in furniture was far too Spartan. Your sense of humour was too kindergarten. Your tattooed bottom, who'd have thought of tartan? Things would never have worked. I wanted champagne and oysters, 'cause that's the way I am. You gave me Vimto, tinned carrots and spam. Rapport's a thing you just can't manufacture. You had an ideal girl, I couldn't match her. I didn't want to, it was Margaret Thatcher. Things would never have worked. I wanted love to come and knock our blocks off, but even Venus takes her garden clocks off. Your idea of foreplay was to take your socks off. Things would never have worked. I wanted moonlight and roses and all that silly tosh. You wanted gerbils, a whippet, a wash. I wanted love songs, but you wouldn't write them. My earlobes nibbled, but you wouldn't bite them. You'd only fart and then attempt to light them. Things would never have worked. We're not compatible, let's not be blue, dear. At least we share each other's point of view, dear. I like big hunky men and so do you, dear. Things would never have worked. Things would never have worked. Thank you. Song from the great Victoria Wood there.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
Got accident down there.
No, we'll do
All right, fine.
not yet. Do you want to do that one?
Yeah,
The
fine.
French song. Yes?
Yes.
Oh dear, communication's a wonderful thing, isn't it? This is a song called Père Lachaise. It was written about the Père Lachaise cemetery when we went for we had a little weekend. It must have been a long time ago because we don't go anywhere like that anymore, do we? We had a weekend in Paris and we had a little day trip out on the metro to the Père Lachaise because I just wanted to go and have a little wander around, and I was quite struck by the fact that of all the great and the good who are buried in the Père Lachaise cemetery, they were giving out these little maps to find the grave of Jim Morrison. Now, maybe I think possibly I'm just a little bit too young. I don't know. Maybe I just missed that. I don't know. I just thought I couldn't really understand it. Obviously I'd heard of him, but I just couldn't understand why everyone went on this pilgrimage to see Jim. Anyway, we wrote a song. It's got a little French feel, I think. See, I think this song needs a bit of an accordion, and I've offered to Brian that I could learn to play the accordion. Brian's not keen. I can do the actions.
I'm sure you can.
Time to wander, time to squander, time to take a train to where they rest in peace. East of Paris is a funeral park where the ghosts are as plenty as the trees. Fields of marble make you marvel, monumental tombs as far as you can see. Lords and ladies with forgotten names, rubbing shoulders with the petty bourgeoisie. But what is fame? Can you make sure the future knows your name? You might name a boulevard or die a communard, but they will pass you by, you hear them cry. Do you know where Jim is? Where the Lizard King is? Groundhog Days in Père Lachaise. Now you're not sure, you took a detour, you find yourself with Abelard and Eloise. Star-crossed lovers are not what you seek, so you follow a small crowd of Japanese. Discover Chopin and Yves Montand, Grappelli, Sarah Bernhardt, just to name a few. Oscar's icon rises tall and proud, covered by the kisses of the true. But who will care if you build your castle here or in the air? You might name a boulevard or die a communard, but they will pass you by, you hear them cry. Do you know where Jim is? Where the Lizard King is? Groundhog Days in Père Lachaise.
Duolingo coming up. How many days is it?
I'm on a 460 maybe streak. Duolingo.
It's not working
I
yet.
can't speak. La 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 la, ho hi ho. Au revoir, Groundhog Days in the show. You put me on the spot, you see, I can't think of anything. La 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 la, petit pois. A bientôt, I don't know. Groundhog Days in Père Lachaise. Do you know where Jim is? Where the Lizard King is? Groundhog Days in Père Lachaise. Groundhog Days in Père Lachaise.
Do you think she should carry on with the Duolingo? What do you think? It's working, isn't it? Yeah.
I think
Right, okay.
that was the first one.
That's the first one, which is for one of your CDs, which you don't know about yet. David Kirk. Yay! Hooray! And Jane, you've won the toilet roll. How exciting. Brilliant. Thank you. Okay. Right, we're going to have one more song
Yes.
and then a break. Thank
Lovely.
you.
Yes.
Lovely.
Thank you. So yes, this has been requested. We don't very often do it here because I know Morag does it. So but we'll do it because we've been asked.
And that, we're actually playing at Walthamstow Folk Club on Sunday, and the gentleman who wrote this will be there. He sort of gave us this song, and I put a bit of a tune to it.
I support my local football team like my father did before. A shiver still runs down my spine whenever my team score. And we hate our local rivals and the colours that they wear. And every time we play them, there is hatred in the air. But maybe it doesn't matter. Perhaps the truth, for what it's worth, is the football team that I support is just an accident of birth. And if I'd have been born down the way, it's not that hard to see that I would be the same as them, but I would still be me. And it doesn't really matter. Here's the truth, for what it's worth. The football team that I support is an accident of birth. Well, I was born and raised in this fair land, like my mother was before. And we support our brave young soldiers when they go to fight a war. And we sing our national anthem, and we salute our country's flag. And our hatred of the enemy grows with every body bag. But maybe it doesn't matter. Perhaps the truth, for what it's worth, is the country I was born in is just an accident of birth. And if I'd have been born down the way, it's not that hard to see that I would be the same as them, but I would still be me. And it doesn't really matter. Here's the truth, for what it's worth. The country I was born in is just an accident of birth. And at the weekend, when we worship like our parents did before, to my God, the only true God, who'll be waiting at the door to let us into paradise, just like our scriptures tell. And all those who worship false gods, well, they'll surely burn in hell. But maybe it doesn't matter. Perhaps the truth, for what it's worth, is the God to whom we pray is just an accident of birth. And if I'd have been born down the way, perhaps I would be the same as them, but I would still be me. And it doesn't really matter. Here's the truth, for what it's worth. The God to whom we pray is just an accident of birth.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sally Ironmonger and Brian Carter. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Oi. Brilliant. And for the people at home, there's people here working. I'd just like to thank Jane on the door, and Roger doing the filming, and John doing the sound on his birthday, and Phil doing the cameras, Lizzie in Galashiels putting all those pictures in your computers, and in her pinny at the bar, Una! Yay! Fantastic. Next week, Also, I'd just like to thank, because I think they're probably watching, Nick and G, who are on holiday in India, who sent me a very long video of bagpipes that they'd seen experienced in India while they were holidaying. Thank you very much for sharing that with me. That was made my week. They know that I'm going on this niche course in March, which is pipes and voice, which is, there's not many of them about. So next week we have Jackal, which of course is Hughie Gavin, who's a composer. He does film work, he does commercials, he runs the social singing choir here, and he's just a fantastic bloke. So come along and see him. He's got the voice of an angel. It has to be said. It's like honey. It's lovely, lovely. And then the following week, we've got John Kirkpatrick, no introduction needed there. And then we've got the John Palmer Trio, who do need excuse me, an introduction, but they have Lee Wellbrook, if you remember him, from people who were around Broadstairs Folk Festival. He insisted that they came, so that would be lovely. And Krista Bubble's doing a floor spot that night, so that'd be lovely. And on the 27th, I've just booked the trio Mana Manouche, Thomas Abraham. So fabulous stuff. So hope to see you all next week for Hughie Gavin, for Jackal. This is Rosalind Court. My name's Maura Butler. Thank you very much.